Hello and welcome to this little video of Easter eggs and things you may have missed in my short story Knocking at the Door, which appeared in 2023's anthology Out of the Depths, a little book of 8 short horror and modern fantasy stories. Now, before I carry on, you might give this little video a quick like and subscribe. That'd be marvellous. I have lots of these videos come out from time to time, and if you enjoy this one, you might enjoy others. And before I go on even further, I need to say a quick shout out to all the lovely Kickstarter and Patreon backers who helped make this video possible.
So a huge thank you to Kevin Denwood, Jacob Matt, Paul Lewis, Gemma Innes, Beck Pierce and Anthony. You guys are absolutely amazing.
If you'd like to hear your name cried out across the internet at varying times on videos like this, then why not consider subscribing to my Patreon book club? Membership starts from just £1 a month. There's a link down below. Number 1. The proverb at the beginning of the story. The story starts with a Chinese proverb: if you have never done anything evil, you should not be worrying about devils knocking at your door. I struggled to a certain extent with the title of this story. Lots of things went through my head, but it all sounded a bit and so I thought, well, let's go on the internet and see if we can find anything which sort of suits. And this one did. I just thought it's all like really summarised the feeling that, yeah, you know, we think if you lead a good life, you know, things are going to be good for you. When in reality, even the nicest of people can have terrible things happen to them. Number 2, the Hesketh family. Now, we first came across the Heskeths in Sam Spillucci Bloodline. Weren't they being honoured or something? That's right, buddy. Asherah dragged Sam along to the Midland Hotel, which was honouring their work for raising funds for Kids Week. More on that in Sam Spillucci Lux Eterna. But also, the surname came from one of my Kickstarter backers. Number 3, the hunt for the cufflinks. Now, many, many years ago, probably, back before the Bible began, I was a child, surprisingly. And as a child, I remember doing some sort of comprehension on the opening of Peter Pan at school. And one of the most vivid memories I have of that was Wendy's father hunting for his cufflinks. And I always have that image stuck in my head. I felt it was very good to reference that passage in this story because both stories involve intruders into the house. In Peter Pan, obviously it's the titular character. He comes along and takes the children away. Here, it's the fallen angel Asmodeus. Number 4, the converted farmhouse. With this story being a direct crossover to Sam Spillucci Bloodline, it stands to reason that the house we see here is the same one which is used in Bloodline, obviously. Sam first encounters it in his nightmares. You know, he has this recurring nightmare of this dilapidated white house. And then, of course, he goes there to confront Asmodeus and comes across the Heskeths and whatnot. Out of interest, does this house have any special significance for you, perchance? Well, actually, yes, it does. Years ago, I had recurring dreams of this battered old white house, and I was constantly walking down the hallway of the place. And this dream went on and on and on. I had it over and over and over again. I have no idea where it came from. No idea whatsoever. But when I came to writing story about, the Hesketh's demise here and in Bloodline, I just felt, yeah, that one will fit. That one will fit. Number 5, the general mess in the house. The story here shows that the house is well lived in, and in fact it's somewhat messy, you know, there's bits and bobs all over the place. Bits of food, bits of toys, family detritus, one might say. And just about everything that you see here in this story is actually referenced in Sam's Felucci bloodline when Sam arrives at the house. Number 6, cardinal spiders. I first learned that spiders hear, as it were, through their hair at a Comic-Con some years ago. And I learnt about cardinal spiders through someone I know who works in a school nearby, which is a very old Victorian building. And apparently the place is overrun with them. They say they come like crawling out, and you'll see them just scurrying across the floor like that. I thought, yeah, they're cool. Number 7, the summer house. As Sam notes in Bloodline, the house itself is completely ramshackle. But however, the Heskeths possessed this lovely summer house in the garden. I wanted this to illustrate that although they are a wealthy family, it's not possessions that they hold dear, but their time together, spending that time together as a family and doing family things. Number 8, Kids Week. Right, this is a biggie. Of those of you who've read my Sam Felucci books, you will probably have noticed that Kids Week has been mentioned a number of times throughout his books as this sort of in this national charity which crops up once a year, doing all sort of like good work for children of the country. Is it a real one? No, this one is actually completely fictional. But we're used to others on TV, which are these great big shebangs, these great big events. The thing, though, in Sam's universe, as it's evolving, on the weekend of the main Kids Week event, which is going to happen to like end of March, beginning of April, something momentous is going to occur. These little Easter eggs have been dropped all the way through the books just to make you aware that Kids Week is coming. And it's not the Kids Week event itself, which is the occasion, but something which is going to happen that weekend. It's going to be a massive, absolutely massive crossover between Lux Eterna, which is going to be Sam 8, and Fallen Angel, my sort of magnum opus, sort of like where all the stories come together. There's going to be references elsewhere as well. I've got a novella coming out, hopefully in 2025, called Child of Fire, which is going to be a companion one to Child of Light, which comes out in 2023. And that, again, is going to be sort of like centered around the events of Kids Week. Yeah, so it's going to be one of these things where Sam's going to get dragged basically down to Wellington, to his hometown where he grew up. And he's going to get taken to his church to investigate his crying crucifix. And he is going to encounter probably one of the most powerful entities in the entire universe. Ooh. Well, who's that then? Well, I'm not giving anything away here right now because, you know, spoilers and all that, but I would love to know your thoughts and your theories on that down below. Number 9, viewpoint and structure. So, this short story is quite different to a lot of the works which I write, especially when you consider like the Sam Felucci books are obviously all sort of first person. It's Sam's voice, but even the short stories that I write tend to be from the view of one character. It may not be their particular voice which is talking, but we see the actions happening through that one particular character. This one isn't. You get to see the story unfold through lots of different characters, basically through the 4 members of the family: mum, dad, 2 kids. And this is something I'm playing around with at the moment because I've got a few works coming up which are going to be very much in this sort of ilk. sort of seeing the same things transpire, but through different eyes, through the different eyes of different characters. The main story which I'm sort of going to be using is going to be a novel called Beyond, which will take place after the 10 Sam Spallucci books, and obviously the title sort of gives it away slightly. It's, you know, the characters are going to be beyond. This is being referenced now in Sam's world. You talk to Asherah in Fury of the Fallen about going to Beyond to save her. His son is beyond. We know that Kanor is going to come from beyond. Lux Eterna is going to send another character beyond. So everything is everything is leading to beyond. Because beyond is this hell dimension, the rules of physics are very, very different. So I've got this plan for the story to unfold, but we'll see it from one character's perspective, then another, then another, then another, until we reach that crux point and they all converge. Number 10, Asmodeus. Okay, so we have encountered this fallen numerous times now in Sam's universe. He was there in Ghosts from the Past, and he was there obviously in Fury of the Fallen. He's been referenced a few times as well, mainly to do with like the creation of the potency. And then we encounter him a bit more in Bobby Normal and the Children of Cain. However, in this particular story here, we have him doing what he enjoys most: being horrid to humans. He sees humans as dirt under his shoe. They are pitiful little creatures of which he has no real understanding as to why angels should hold them in high regard, as to why God is so fond of them. And to a certain extent, through Sam's books, especially in Fury, there is a certain amount of, well, he's a bit of a figure of fun. He's a bit of a buffoon in that respect. He's got this high importance in himself. You know, he called himself Baal, for goodness sake. He calls himself Lord. And, you know, he's mocked for that, especially by Ash. But he has that dark side. You know, if you push him, he will snap and nasty things will happen. Number 11. Why did he create you? This sort of follows on with sort of like from what I was talking just before. As he torments the poor Heskeths, Asmodeus asks, why did he create you? What was the reason? Here we see something that the fallen angel really has struggled with all his existence. He does not understand humanity. When we encounter him in Fallen Angel, we see a being who feels that humans should be there to worship him and cannot understand why God has this love for them. And this is probably the main reason why he falls from grace and drags Asherah with him. Number 12, Asmodeus' phone call. So here we have the other side of the phone call that Sam Spallucci had in Fear of the Fallen when Asmodeus rang him and Sam was at the Kids Week event in Midland Hotel. As simple as that. I always like seeing these things from slightly different points of view. This whole story is different points of view. And this just gives that conversation, I'll say, from a different point of view. Number 13, the fate of the Heskeths. Oh, this story ends with the reader under no illusion as to what's going to happen to this poor family. It illustrates just how evil, how malevolent Asmodeus is, and there is no hope of redemption for him. None whatsoever. He shows no remorse. He shows no sadness. He is happy just to kill them and be done with it because he can. And this is very unlike the image we have of Asherah in Fury of the Fallen. Ashera has done bad things, but it weighs heavy on her soul. And this is probably going to lead to the two of them going different paths at some point in the future. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed those. Again, quick like, quick subscribe, be absolutely marvellous. And like I said earlier, if you'd like your name shouted out at the beginning of one of these videos, links down below for my Patreon book club. Membership is, again, just £1 a month. Not so bad. Take care. I'll see you again soon.